Hello, class. This is the mini lesson instructions for your Zoom live sessions, which will be for from August 24th, Monday through August 27th, which is Thursday, and Friday is Flex Day, where you have the entire day to catch up. And if you need help, you can join me in my Zoom meetings. So, this week we will be talking about memoirs. Last week we completed our work on looking at creation myth. So today, if you're unable to participate in the Zoom sessions, I strongly suggest that you do. I'm going to go over the memoir notes. Okay? And everything is found in my Google Classroom. So the memoir notes are for you to have. So whenever you have an assignment, you're not sure, you can be able to review your notes. Okay. So now let's go over what a memoir is. Okay. A memoir is a special memory about a period of time or several related events in the author's life. Now, for us right now, we're only going to pick a small event in our lives, not multiple events, okay? And a memoir always uses the first person point of view. It's like you're talking to yourself, or I did this, me. It's always at the first person point of view. And all the events are true and actual events. There's not any fiction, it's not fictitious. All these events did happen to you or that person. Describes conflict faced by the author. So you're going to describe how you felt, what happened, and did you learn something from it? But it's like you're talking to yourself. Whenever you think of a memoir, think about you're having a conversation to yourself, but you're writing about it, okay? It includes the writer's feelings about historical events or social issues. Um, you'll be talking about how you felt within that setting, or what happened to you. Like, let's say you went to a party and you didn't like what was going on and you didn't feel comfortable. So that social culture of that party is an event that you're writing about how you didn't feel comfortable. That's just an example. Now, let's continue to define memoir and its characteristics. Again, a memoir is a narrative written about an important event in the author's life that affected them in some way. Now, remember, it's a narrative type of writing. So, next week, we will go over, before you start to write, a how to write a personal narrative, okay, which is also a memoir, and the structure of how to write that. So this week, we're going to listen and read about how one particular person wrote a memoir, but it can give you an idea of how to write something that happened to you in an event in your life, okay? So let's look at the characteristics of a memoir. It is a memory, a description of a true past event. Again, it is written in first person. It reveals the feelings of the writer, how the writer felt, has meaning. It shows what the author learned from the experience. And about the author's experience more than about the event itself. So you're not talking about the event while you're writing, it's more about how you're feeling as you're going through the event, as you're going through the memory. It's how you're feeling throughout that entire story, okay? So again, it's again a short story. It and actually, memoir is a French word. It means memories, and it's a short story about the day. Let's say the day I broke my arm. The diary kept by a child living in a war zone. Now that is multiple events. That's like the Anne Frank story. For now, we're going to put that aside. We're only going to worry. We're only going to really work on for the next 2 weeks a short story about a day, okay? And it has to always be um, true, an actual event. So, for example, a day you broke your arm, how would and you're going and if that happened to someone, you're going to write as you're experiencing it. When I fell and I heard that crack, on my arm, and the pain just went through my arm. And I never had pain like that I screamed. Then I went to my house, and my mother saw my arm in two pieces and started to yell. So you're experiencing it as you're writing. Or the day someone, let's say, for example, failed their driving test. As I was driving, I pressed the brakes really quickly, and the driving instructor had coffee in his hands, and boom, the coffee fell everywhere, all over him, and I knew I failed my test. So those are examples, and it's like you're reliving the event. Okay. Now, for me, I went parasailing. That's why it was an awesome experience, because for me, the event was important because I was able to finally get over my phobia of heights, and because I learned how to swim, and also my phobia of water. So it was a great experience for me, that the way I was able to get, to parasail and have the wind on my face, and looking at the water and saying, oh my God, I can really, really do this. So these are experiences, and you are writing as though you are talking to yourself out, in your words, about the experience. Now, again, here's an anchor chart. It is what you need to remember when you're writing about a special memoir. Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it an object? And what it means to you as the author. And remember, it's always first person, me, I, us, my. Okay? And it is true, and it is an actual event. You're not making it up, okay? And describe the conflict. Like for me, my conflict was, oh my goodness, I have a phobia of heights and water. And I was able to get over my phobia, to an extent, that is. And the event is all in sequence order: first, and this happened in second, and this happened after. And you must always remember, you're going to be using strong verbs about how you're feeling. Okay. And sensory details. If I would close my eyes, and you're experiencing it, you would say how it felt. What did you see? How did it taste? How did it feel? Okay. And also your feelings about it. And have dialogue, because you're saying how it felt. For example, if the one that I gave, the example I gave you a few minutes ago about failed your driving test, and she's thinking out loud, as I pressed the brakes and hard, and the instructor, all the coffee went all over the place and fell all over him. I said out loud, oh my God, I failed my test. So that is dialogue. You are actually saying in your writing what you stated. Okay. So these are your notes that you need to understand what a memoir is. When we meet next week, we will learn more about how to write a memoir. So in the Google Docs, we're going to be reading a memoir called, hold on one second, let me get that for you. It's called The Holiday Tradition. So we're going to be reading this memoir in class, okay? So we're going to be reading it during both Zoom sessions, okay? Have it ready. Then, after we read it, for the both Zoom sessions, you're going to have a reflection assignment. And your assignment is that you're going to answer questions. So I'm going to go over the questions now so you can know what to expect, okay? So you're going to be answering your question on your Google Doc. So the question, no, you're going to have questions 1 through 5. What is the memory of David Sedaris? Where and when did it happen? Lists 5 memoir events that happened to David Sedaris as an elf at Macy's. How did he feel working as an elf? Name one situation that annoyed him and why. So be prepared for these questions. And this assignment is due Friday at 11:30. So once again, during our Zoom sessions, we will read the holiday tradition It's David Sedaris Santaland Diaries. So the diaries is almost like a memoir, but it is a memoir. Okay. So we will be reading this during our 2 Zoom sessions. And then on Thursday, we will finish this memoir and you will start working on your assignment. Okay. So once again, everything is on Google, my Google Classroom, and your assignment is due on Friday. Have a great day. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email.